Woman that spots a cat on the beach quickly uncovers this crushing reality. Adrienne Bush has loved animals her entire life. As a former Baltimore Ravens cheerleader, she works as a marketing coordinator at Charm City Veterinary Hospital. She's met many animals through her work and has also witnessed sad stories unfold. It happens all the time. People find out they're moving and they leave their dog or cat behind, abandoning them without a contingency plan. Hopefully, these poor animals find their way to a kind stranger or an animal shelter for help. Some find homes and some do not. Over 1 million cats and dogs never make it out of the shelter every year. The vast majority of them are not kittens or puppies, but elderly animals that no one wants to adopt. Adrienne was on the lookout for a second cat. Both her and her boyfriend knew they didn't want a kitten. Their 6-year-old Tabby at home was so wonderful, they knew how rewarding an adult cat could be. Plus, Adrienne knew how hard it was for older pets to get adopted. So she was hoping the right cat in need of a home could come her way. One day while she was on Facebook, she read a post that brought tears to her eyes. An older, somewhat gruff orange kitty caught her eye as she read his story. His name was Tigger, and he'd been abandoned by his previous owner at a local veterinary hospital. When she read on, she couldn't believe what she saw. This cat was 20 years old. That was the bit of information that caused Bush and her boyfriend to look at each other and immediately decide, we're taking that cat. That night, they made their way to the vet hospital to meet Tigger. It was love at first sight for Adrienne and Tigger. As he lay in her back seat on the way home, she saw how thin he was and couldn't help but notice his matted fur. It broke her heart that this cat had suffered so much. When they got home, it was obvious Tigger was pleased with his new family. Adrienne remembers he cuddled right up with pillows and blankets like he never forgot what it was like to have them. He began getting healthier, but he had one odd behavior. Tigger wouldn't stop drinking water. Past normal hydration, he would drink about 1 gallon a day. This worried Adrienne, so she took him in for blood work to make sure everything was okay. Luckily, she went in when she did. Results showed that Tigger's kidneys were failing. Adding to his health concerns, Adrienne found a tumor the size of a golf ball on him. His age and health issues made her think he might not be around too much longer. It gave Adrienne an idea. She planned to help Tigger cross a few items off his bucket list. He may not have a ton of life left, but she wanted to make sure he got to experience the best the world had to offer before he left it. Of course, some of his favorite cat activities were easy to do, like spending time with his cat brother and lounging around as much as possible. But there were a few more adventurous items on the list. Adrienne brought Tigger to the beach for the first time. For an animal known for its distaste for water, he was right at home by the seaside. Resting in the sand and sunning his fur made him content and relaxed. Tigger celebrated a birthday with his new family, complete with a cake made of his favorite food, chicken. Instead of turning 21 in a lonely shelter, he got to do so in a warm and loving home surrounded by his family. The adventures were great, but certainly Tigger found himself most fulfilled when he was in the arms of his mom, Adrienne. They were inseparable. Adrienne even took Tigger from their home in Maryland to visit her family in Florida. She knew her beloved kitty was on borrowed time. That was clear when she adopted him. She was giving everything she had to the ailing cat in order to improve his life. Somewhere in the interim, he had stolen her heart. About a year after he was adopted, Adrienne noticed Tigger was walking strangely. She explains, "I picked him up and put him in my arms, and he started his infamous purring. Less than 30 seconds later, our baby passed in peace." Adrienne will always miss the orange tabby that gave and received so much love in the final year of his life. Instead of a cold shelter or worse, he was able to rest his head on a loved one in his final moments. Adrienne has a clear message for animal lovers. I hope his journey helps cat and pet lovers know how wonderful it is not to only adopt, but to adopt older pets. She explained, "Witnessing our love and happiness of Tigger changed our lives."